everyone, and thanks for joining us at Emerson's Discrete Automation booth here at the Hannover Messe 2023. During this session, we'll be discussing Emerson's floor-to-cloud concept to learn a little bit more about what that means exactly, what their vision is, and of course, how manufacturers can be reaping its benefits from the factory floor all the way up to the digital space. And I'm delighted to be joined on this panel by Amit Patel, who is the Director of Intelligent Automation at Emerson. And over here on my right is Dr. Michael Grzycka, who's Director of Engineering Intelligent Automation. And Amit is driving, if I've understood correctly, the market direction and strategy for execution of the intelligent devices, hardware, software solutions, etc. And Michael's focus is more technical on data-driven software solutions and, of course, industrial Internet of Things, technology development for Emerson's digital transformation initiatives, which are many. So a warm welcome to both of you, and glad you could join us here today.
Hello.
Absolutely. Excited to be here. Thanks a lot, Karen.
So much going on.
Absolutely.
And Amit, I'm going to begin with you because as a starting point, I'm just wondering if you could give us a brief, give us some background and a brief explanation on this floor to cloud concept. What's it about?
Yeah, absolutely. So floor to cloud is really Emerson Discrete Automation's approach and vision of how we take our technology stack of intelligent devices, hardware, edge, and analytics and software, and our known expertise to help transform our customers' processes and businesses. And it's really at the center of putting the customer first, looking at areas where we're solving productivity, sustainability, reliability, and safety challenges that they see.
Okay, we'll hear a little bit more about those challenges specifically afterwards, or can you give us an example?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one that, I would say is definitely a big discussion today is around sustainability. And you see a lot of customers today creating targets to reach their net zero goals. And of course, looking to do more with less and reducing waste. And we can definitely go into a little bit of detail as to how Emerson Discrete Automation is really helping customers really drive towards that and help accelerate them towards net zero or realize inefficiencies or areas of waste.
Okay, before we do that, let's go over to you, Michael, because I'd like to just get your perspective on the floor to cloud. You're coming from a much more technical standpoint. How do you define it? And most importantly, how do you go about deploying your floor to cloud solutions?
Well, first of all, basically, it's about the data and the data-driven value that we try to generate and the value proposition that we provide for our customers, right? So it's about generating the data at the shop floor, very at the stage where the customers are at the machine itself, at the edge of the machine, then aggregating the data, visualizing it, and then to provide these insights. And we do that we very early talk to the customers about their concrete requirements, a concrete value proposition, a concrete use case, to install then our sensors, our tech architectures, our software architectures, to then provide a concrete value addition to their current at the current needs for the customers.
So it's interesting because essentially, if I understand correctly, you're doing machine monitoring, but also data management all the way across an integrated system.
That's basically the floor to cloud, let's say, scenario, right? You create data at the shop floor, at the edge, at the machine itself, and then you may provide it and the contextualized information wherever the customer, the user might require it. That might be directly at the machine, that might be on a specific server, that might be at a cloud environment, wherever the customer, the user is asking for a visualization, for a provision of these information that we generate with our data.
Okay, and you mentioned machines. Amit, back over to you because I'm wondering if you can just describe some of the components that we're talking about. We've got a lot of them here at the booth that the customers are very interested in looking at. I mean, hardware, software, what kinds of things is Emerson offering to actually help address all of these customer challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start really, as you said, at the machine level. And it starts with the devices. And Emerson has a comprehensive portfolio looking across pneumatics, fluid control, discrete sensors that are capturing things like position, presence, and also intelligence sensors, which Michael can also talk about a little bit later as well, where it's not just about creating the data, but it's how you deliver and deploy it through standard network communication protocols. And when you then look at that sort of foundation of those devices, it's also looking at the layer above, because these machines also have controllers such as PLCs. They'll have industrial PCs or edge devices that are there to really either control or monitor that machine. And then within that machine, you can also look at the next layer, which is the software piece. And Emerson has a range of edge analytics software, but also HMI SCADA software. And what that allows a user to do is not only just interface with the machine, but also be capable to monitor and run analysis on that machine as well. And that's what makes our portfolio pretty vertically integrated and compelling for our customers to solve these challenges.
Michael, I'm just sort of thinking about all the OEM specific OEM audience that we have out there watching a show like this today. What insights do you have in terms of the real-time monitoring or diagnostics that they can benefit from with this Floor to Cloud?
Well,
and that can sort of, do all of this optimization for them on so many different levels.
what we specifically provide is insights, and these are the technologies which rose over the last couple of years, right? In particular, when providing standardized architectures by means of creating the data, visualizing the data, providing standards for the dashboards, for the architectures, for the connectivity. So what we try to help the customer or user is really to use the technology, to lower the threshold to entry that world of digital transformation. That might start with a direct one device approach. For example, what we do as a usual standard approach is we provide a compressed air monitoring that might be for a single machine, right? Where the customers create inputs about how the compressed air monitoring is utilized over time, where historian data helps a lot to understand the behavior of a machine over time. And then you see that users and customers usually understand, okay, this is an insight I very easily have. And they understand also that the architecture is already there and it might be easily scaled now. And then we can scale and enhance that technology and the existing architecture with either for several machines and lines and plants even, right? Or several media, like another sensor for electrical energy, another sensor for water consumption monitoring, for steam monitoring. And with that, we build up an entire energy monitoring system, a multimedia monitoring environment that the customer iteratively may also understand and learn to utilize.
So Anna, have you got anything to add on how the OEMs can actually address their specific challenges? That each one of the examples that you have here, if I understand correctly, is a real life example that you brought to sort of show here at the trade show.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say you can look at it in two camps, if you will. So the values that our producers and end users see actually utilizing that machine. And to your question around the OEMs, they also see value in IIoT and digital transformation, because if you look at it from the machine builder space, adding more intelligence or perhaps adding more of the analytics enables an OEM to really help the end user from a troubleshooting and a servicing standpoint. So the most paramount thing for an end user is to maintain uptime. Once I run a production, I don't want to have any hiccups or any unplanned downtime. And as a machine builder, they want to reach that, right? They want to provide the service. And if there is a level of downtime, go in and help the customer deduce, troubleshoot exactly what the situation is and solve that in a short amount of time as possible so that the end user can get up and running.
I'm wondering from you, Michael, how challenging are software updates on an integrated system like this?
That's a must-have, right? That our systems are flexible by means of when we provide it, and they usually update it, and that's a requirement that we also see on the market. And I mean, you might know that from your mobile, right? Your mobile is updating overnight, so that's a requirement that we see on the market too, right? That also
but
the
updates cause a lot of problems sometimes.
That's a certain technique, I will call it, right? That's a certain thing we have to take care of, and we do that. So we service our solutions also in a continuous manner. Such that they stay accessible and stay running.
And what about when processes actually, let's say, deviate from their expected patterns? Does Florida Cloud actually provide the ability for customers to identify that, or to the ability to automate some processes?
That's a very interesting question, because the deviation, you have to recognize the deviation, right? So if you, as for example, my team, we would only provide a visualization, a data aggregation, and the corresponding dashboards, but we maybe don't understand what a certain peak in the data might mean. So what we usually do, we very deeply dive into the concrete process of our customers, our users, to really understand what are their requirements, what are their thresholds, to then add things like alerts and thresholds to provide information if there is a deviation. Future solutions or the next step solutions are a bit more, let's say, intelligent, smarter, because then you have prediction models that will help you understand a certain signal behavior before and tell you once there is a deviation.
Mm-hmm. Anything to add there? I hear you nodding on that.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that statement. I mean, Michael sort of nailed it. In order to look at deviations, to look at anomalies, you have to understand what normal is. And, that's really at the foundation of it. End users and OEMs alike have to take that data, translate it and contextualize it, see it and trend it to see exactly what the baseline is. And from there, could you start to build more sophisticated models around that to tell you what's an anomaly and what's a deviation? So yeah, I couldn't agree more with that.
So what we literally do is we do workshops with our customers, the users, to help them understand their visualizations, how they leverage value with the insights they get, to really take actions that will help them to whatever spare compressed air or other media based on the insights we provide with our initial solutions, right?
Some valuable insights there. Thanks very much, Michael. And I want to get on to the subject of connecting people, because we spoke earlier about how important it's not just the machines. Obviously, the people are essential to this entire process, Amit. So how can this concept actually help customers in that area?
Absolutely. I think that's a fantastic question, and it's something that our customers and the industry looks at closely, because at the center of transformation, it's not just about creating the right data and delivering it a visualization. There's a person at the end of that has to act upon that. And I would say the benefit of our Florida Cloud approach is that because we have the expertise at the device level, the hardware and the software, it's really around how do you drive that in a given use case for a user. So taking that to a technician, taking that to an automation engineer, a controls engineer, giving them that ease of use, empowering them with the analytics so that they could start making those decisions. Or taking all of those analytics and scaling it across a site, across multiple sites for leadership to look at, right? I would say they almost go hand in hand. And I would say that in the world of digital transformation and automation, it's really about empowering the user at the end of the day and allowing them to do more with less. If you look at the industry today, you can see areas like knowledge gap, labor issues. There's quite a few folks that are completely stretched, right, in the factory. And I would say that the work that Michael and his team are doing and what Emerson is delivering to our customers is to ease that and lower that barrier for a user or a leader to really grab a better understanding of what's happening in their facility or on their machine.
Any comments from you on the people connection, technology and people connecting?
That's the fundament for everything, right? I mean, from the installation and from the commissioning perspective, the number of people which are involved in our solutions, that has become way broader, right? It's not only implementing a machine at a shop floor. It's you have to talk to so many users because you might provide individual value for individual users based on the data, which is contextualized for several users, as Amit mentioned. I might create a dashboard for a specific person working indeed at the machine, but the same data might be used for a plant-wide or a worldwide overview for a manager, for a CEO, whatever, right? So having that in mind, already at the very beginning, we have a lot of discussions apart from having IT involved, having OT people involved, having purchasing, productions, EHS. So it's a broad discussion. And all that comes to the end that in the end, the digital transformation is a lot about the collaboration, the communication, the exchange with our stakeholders to really provide the best solution for the individual users.
Okay, well, thanks very much for all of those insights, because I think you've really taken our awareness to a next level on this topic. But I have a final question, of course. We always like to end these kinds of talks with a bit of a future outlook. I mean, you're here at the Hannover Messe 2023. Amit, given that technology is constantly evolving, where do you believe that this floor to cloud concept is going to take us? What can we look forward to, or what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, there's so much interesting technology today. Just walking around the show and seeing, the wide range of suppliers out here. And I would say the thing that's really exciting is how we can take floor to cloud and really make it as a seamless approach and a highly scalable and deployable solution for our customers. And how can they feel that they can start small, prove the ROI, scale fast, and begin achieving those insights.
Okay, so thanks very much for that detailed response, Amit. Michael, perhaps you can build on that. And I'm thinking, about the specific OEM audience that's out there. What insights in terms of real-time monitoring or diagnostics can they benefit from with the floor to cloud concept that is obviously going to help optimize their operations?
Well, the insights, first of all, depend on the requirements of the customer, right? As we specifically design our solutions for the users and their requirements, it's a broad range of applications. Basically, it's first of all, it's providing the insight to their environments, to their machines, to their lines, and that might be on a compressed air consumption, that might be any other media that might be consumed, depending on what the customer is asking us. Anyway, when we do that, we learn from that and we standardize these solutions. So what we've done, we started with our use case thinking, being very close at the customer requirements, and then moving on, taking that knowledge and creating a standardized solution that now very easily can provide it off the stack for our customers, providing the hardware and the software out of one hand.
So offering some great insights into Emerson's floor to cloud approach, where they're actually advising small manufacturers how to start small, scale fast, and of course harness that critical data to help solve some of the biggest manufacturing challenges for all of your customers. So finally, a special thanks to our audience for your interest and your attention. And for further details on floor to cloud solutions, you can always visit emerson.com, where you can learn more about the benefits that Emerson can provide to your own specific manufacturing transformation. Until next time, that's all we have time for today, but it's been a pleasure, and bye-bye from Hanover.